Thank you so much for joining this platform. We're going to discuss the Kcse 2017 Mathematics Paper 2, Section 1. So subscribe to the platform. Remember to share the link so that you may invite your friends. Number 1, the roots of a quadratic equation are x equals to -3/5 and x equals to 1. Form the quadratic equation in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0, where a, b, and c are integers. A, b, and c are integers. So we're going to use the factorization approach, whereby, because we are already given the roots of x, then just before concluding that x equals to 3/5 and x equals to 1, there must have been a step which previously is x plus 3/5 equals to 0, and also x minus 1 equals to 0. That is the step just before getting the exact roots. Because x equals to 1, then x minus 1 is 0. Then now we can expand x plus 3/5 x minus 1 equals to 0. But then we expand. So x times everything in the second bracket plus 3/5 again by everything in the second bracket. So x squared minus x plus 3/5x minus 3/5 equals to 0. That way, then now we can group terms, whereby this x squared, then negative x plus 3/5. This becomes -2/5x minus 3/5 equals to 0. And now that 5 is appearing as the denominator in the second and the third terms, we can multiply through by 5, so that we have 5x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals to 0 becomes the simplified, because at this point the equation is already correct, but we are having fractions and not integers. So to make them integers, we multiply through by the common denominator so that we get integers. Number 2, a tailor intended to subdivide a piece of cloth into 7 equal parts. She approximated 1/7 meters to 0.14. Calculate the percentage error in the approximation. Percentage error will be given by error divided by actual value times 100, expressed as a percentage. So the error itself shall be, when we take 1/7, the actual value, 1/7, then we subtract the estimation, then, no, that will be the error. Error is usually actual value minus estimated value. Then when you divide by actual, now I have this multiplied by 100, we'll be getting the answer. So 1/7 minus 0.14 divided by 1/7 multiplied by 100, I'm getting exactly 2%. So I've used the calculator there. You just subtract 1/7 minus 0.14, then you divide by 1/7, then you multiply by 100, and you get your answer. Look at number 3. A miller was contracted to make porridge flour to support a feeding program. He mixed millet, sorghum, maize, and omena in the ratio 1:2:5:1. The cost per kilogram of millet was 90, sorghum 120, maize 30, and omena 150. Calculate part A, the cost of 1 kg of the mixture. So in this 1 kg, we have a proportion of 1, and that one translates to millet costing 90. Then we mix with 2 kgs of sorghum, each costing 120. Then we mix with 5 proportions, that's for maize, each costing 30. And finally, we have 150, and this is one proportion. So when you look at this, you discover that there are total proportions which are 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1, and that will give us a 3, 8, 9. Exactly 9. Let me get this multiplication now. 90 plus 240 plus 150 plus 150, 630 over 9. So when we divide by 9, you discover that a kg of the mixture is costing 70 bob. In other words, 1 kilogram, 2 kilograms, 5 kilograms, and 1 kilogram are totaling to 9 kgs. And we can get the price or the cost price of this whole mixture. Then we divide by the number of kilograms mixed to come up with the mixture. And that way, we can get the price per kg. The selling price of 1 kg of the mixture if the miller made a profit of 30%. So to make a profit of 30%, then the cost price is 70. We need a selling price. We need a selling price, which will be equivalent to 130% of what we have here. So we'll be talking about 130 times 70%, giving us Kenya shillings 91. So when they sell at 91, there'll be a 30% profit. Yeah, remember our consultation line 0704153366. Please reach out through this. You can request for revision materials through that line. You can also ask questions through that. You can also join our individualized programs by contacting that number. So just use it and you'll be sorted. Number 4, without using mathematical tables or calculator, evaluate. 5/6, the log of 64 to base 10 plus the log of 50 to base 10 minus 4, the logarithm of 2 to base 10. We apply a few laws of logarithms for the first term and for the second term. We know that when we have n, the log of a, this one can be solved by log of a power n. Therefore, we rewrite as the logarithm to base 10 of 64. 64 will be raised to 5/6. Now 5/6 becomes the power to 64 plus the logarithm to base 10 of 50 minus the log to base 10 of 2 power 4. That way. Also 4 at this point becomes the power. So we can evaluate that first. According to indices, we know that when there is a number raised to a fractional power, the denominator is usually the root. So we take the nth root of a, the numerator becomes power. We raise to power n. Therefore, 64 power 5/6 becomes the 6th root of 64. Then now we raise to power 5. So the 6th root of 64. So 6 shift power, and that gives us 2. So at this point, we have the log to base 10 of 2. And 2 has to be raised to power 5, sorry. So 2 power 5, which is 32, plus the log to base 10 of 50 minus the log to base 10 of 16. So at this point now, we can have another law here, which says that when we have the logarithm of A plus the logarithm of B, this one can be narrowed down to the log. We just multiply the two numbers. And in case the log of A is subtracted the log of B, we will just take logarithm, then A will be divided by B that way. So now we can talk of, at this point, the log to base 10 of 32 multiplied by 50. And because of the minus, divide by 16. So this will be the log to base 10 of 100. The log to base 10 of 100. Remember, we can now proceed using several approaches there. One, from this point, we can say that log to base 10 of 10 power 2. So that, applying this law here, we can just drop the power and have 2 the log of 10 to base 10, and call that the log of a number to the same base is usually 1. And hence, the answer there becomes 2, because log of 10 to base 10 is equivalent to 1. So it will be 2 times 1. Alternatively, at that particular point where we are having the log of 100 to base 10, we can let this one be something like t, so that we change this one from logarithm form to index notation. So 10 power t equals to 100. So 10 power t equals to 10 power 2 instead of 100. Now that the bases are the same, the value of t is going to be 2. So we can still get 2 using that approach. Number 5. Yeah, in the figure below, PQRS is a cyclic quadrilateral. A cyclic quadrilateral is one which touches the circle using the 4 vertices. You can see both PQ, R, and S are touching the vertices. PQ is equivalent to QR. PQ is equivalent to the R. Yeah. So this one is equal to this one. PQR equals to 105. That is the angle, 105. And PS is parallel to QR. PS is parallel to PR. They are parallel lines. Determine the size of PSR. PSR, the angle at this point. So we know that PQRS is a cyclic quadrilateral. And in a cyclic quadrilateral, we say that in a cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles are usually equal. Opposite angles are usually supplementary. In other words, they add up to 180. So when we take 180 and we subtract 105, we should get 75. Should get 75, which is the length, which is the size of the angle here. The whole of this is 75 degrees that way. Yeah, 75 degrees. Again, there are some angles here that we can still continue finding. PQS, the angle at this point, PQS is going to be the angle at this point. Therefore, according to the rule that governs angles subtended by the same chord, then we all know that the angle at Q will be equal to the angle at R. So we can even focus on finding the angle at R. But before then, let's get some two angles here. The angle at this point and also the angle at this point. We know that PQ and QR are equal. Therefore, we need to take 180, we subtract 105, then we divide by 2, so that we get each of the base angles there. 180 minus 105 divided by 2, 37.5 degrees. So this is 37.5. This is also 37.5. We usually know that angles subtended by the same chord are usually equal. If that is so, then we should be able to conclude that the angle subtended by at P by QR will also be equal to the angle at this point. So this is also 37.5. Meaning that this is also 37.5 because the total was the total was exactly 75. With that, now we can use triangle PQS. PQS, because we are having PQS, yeah, that way. So now we can get the missing angles here, whereby we will say that the angle being 105, just a minute. Remember, we are finding angle, yeah, the angle where Q is at the center. So with that knowledge, we should be able to solve the missing angle very quickly by taking a 75 and 37.5. Yeah, so that we may get the missing angle. Therefore, the whole of 180 in that triangle PRS 180, then we have 37.5 and 75 on the other side. We will be able to get the angle at this point. So we need 180 minus 37.5 plus 75. So this gives us 67.5. Now that this is 67.5, and we said the angle at this point, together with the one we have found are subtended by the same chord, then it will also be 67.5. So this is also 67.5 degrees that way. Number 6, make T the subject of S equals to the square root of 3D into T minus D divided by 8. So now that there is a square root sign, we can square both sides so that we have S squared equals to 3D T minus D over 8. Remember, we are making we are making T the subject. We are making T the subject. Therefore, we can multiply through by the reciprocal of this coefficient. Let me write it this way, about 8 there. So 3D over 8. We multiply both sides by 8 over 3D. 8 over 3d. So it will be 8 over 3. This is a s squared, this over d, equals to t minus d. And now we want to remain with the t alone. Therefore, to remain with the t, we have to add d on the other side. So s, 8s squared over 3d plus d. So d is added at that point, and we will have made, we will have made the t the subject such a way. Looking at number 7, simplify 3 out of 3 minus the root of 7. We simplify by rationalizing the denominator. So it will be 3 divided by 3 minus the root of 7 into 3 plus the root of 7. Then 3 plus the root of 7 will also be implied on the numerator. At this point, this becomes 9 plus 3, the root of 7, divided by, look at the denominator now. It is a difference of 2 squares. Being a difference of 2 squares, it will be very easy to simplify it, because we need 3 squared minus root 7 also squared. So it will be 9 minus 7. That way, we will be having 9 minus 3, the root of 7, divided by 2. This expression is fully simplified as long as we are not having a denominator which is having sad. The expression is fully factorized. Using a ruler and a pair of compasses only, construct part A, triangle LMN. LMN, such that LM 5 centimeters. So we do, we want to do a straight line, which is equivalent to 5 centimeters. Measure 5 centimeters here. I'm going to just illustrate 5 centimeters. Then something else that we're supposed to do is to know that the length L to N is 5.6, and the angle at L is 45. So if the angle is 45, we construct perpendicular first at L. Then after that perpendicular, now we bisect, because this 90. So we bisect it. We make an arc, then we make other arcs at that point. And now this can be joined. That is now 45. So now we are going to measure our 5.6 along this. With 5.6, this will definitely be our point N. And now we can connect it to M. By such doing, we will have constructed the triangle which the examiner had demanded. This is 45 degrees. Construct again the circle that touches all the sides. So to touch all the sides, we're supposed to bisect the angles which are in this triangle. So we can bisect the angle at M that way, so that we may get the in center. When the angle is bisected, you again bisect another angle like the one at N that way. So now where the bisectors of these angles meet, this point, this is O, where the bisectors meet, we use it as what we call the in center. So O is the in center. In case we were having a circle that touches the vertices, we would have bisected lines. So after getting the in center now, you use it to draw a circle, which will touch at this point, this point, this point, and you just connect. You just connect that way. So that is how simply you will get the circle. Number 9, the figure below is a triangle ABC. On the triangle, locate the locus of points equidistant from AC and BC. The locus of points equidistant from two given lines, AB and AC. You just identify the intersection of AC and BC. You see they are meeting at A to make an angle. Therefore, we just need to bisect the angle. Angle bisect a locus. So you stand at A, you bisect the angle there. So you produce angle bisector locus. That's way. That's a locus. Then again, the locus of points 5 centimeters from B. So the locus of points, which are at a given distance from a fixed point like B, is usually a circle. It's usually a circle. So we stand at B and we do a circle using 5 centimeters. We just do a circle 5 centimeters away. So this is another locus. 5 centimeters. That's another locus. Shade the region inside the circle, which is less than 5 centimeters from B and nearer to AC than AB. So to shade the region, we are going to identify it that way. Yeah, that is it. So that we are nearer to AB than to BC, and also nearer to AC than BC. So we need the upper side of the first locus. And so that we may be less than 5 centimeters, we need the inner side of the circle locus. So that is how we identify the loci. Number 10, an aircraft took off from point P, 65 degrees south, 76 degrees west, and flew due north to a point Q. The distance between P and Q is 54 degrees nautical miles. Determine the position of Q. Determine the position of Q. Equator prime meridian. The position of P is 65 south, 65 south, 65 south, 76 in the west. P. 76 in the west. Then we have an aircraft which is going to fly northwards until it occupies a longitude which is unknown, and that is at Q, until Q, that way. So now there is a certain angle here. There's an angle there that we don't know. It's an angle here, which is not known, and the distance is given in nautical miles. So distance, when in nautical miles, is usually given by 60 multiplied by beta. Therefore, the distance of 5400 equals to 60 multiplied by unknown beta. Then beta equals to 5400 over 60, giving us exactly 90 degrees. So we have beta, it's 90 degrees. From P to Q, there's an angle difference of 90 degrees. If that is so, and we know the position of P as 65, then we can know the position of Q on the other side. So we are moving along the same longitude until we cover an angle of 90. So from here to 0 degrees equator, we will cover 65. And remember, we are supposed to cover an angle of 90. So there remains 25, which means we'll have the 65 on the south and add a 25 on the northern side. So the position of Q is going to be 25 in the north, then 76 in the west. That way. Number 11. The equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 6y plus 4 equals to 0. On the grid provided, draw the circle. For us to draw the circle, we're supposed to identify its center first and also the radius. So for us to identify the center and radius, we have to rearrange this equation until the x components come first, minus 4x. Then we will be adding a constant here so that we make this one a perfect square. The y part now, y squared plus 6y. We also add another constant here to make the y component a perfect square. Then now we take the constant to the other side. There is a minus 4. And we will be adding the same constants on the right-hand side. So now to complete the perfect square, we usually say that the constant is usually given by b over 2 squared. So the first constant will be negative 4 over 2 because b, following the x component, b is negative 4. So we need negative 4 over 2 squared. This will give us negative 2 squared, which is 4. Then the second constant shall be given by, we consider the y component. So we take 6 over 2 squared. So 3 squared equals to 9. So we'll be adding x squared minus 4x plus 4, then plus y squared plus 6y plus 9 equals to negative 4 plus 4 plus 9. You see now on the right-hand side, it will simplify to exactly 9. Then on the left, we will have to factorize now. This is a perfect square. So to factorize it, we need x minus, we start with the sign. We start with the square root of x squared, then the sign which follows, and it's a minus, and the square root of the constant, which is a 2 squared, plus, for y, we start with the square root of y, which is y, the sign which follows, a plus, then the square root of the constant here, which is a 3 squared. This is equal to 9. If that is so, we need to remind ourselves that general equation of a circle is given by x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals to radius squared. In this case, AB is the center of the circle. Therefore, x minus 2 equals to x minus a. So negative 2 equals to negative a. And the value of a shall be 2. 3 equals to negative b. So the value of b shall be negative 3. So that is the center. The center. Then the radius squared equals to 9. So that radius becomes 3 units. So the radius is exactly 3 units. Now with all these, a radius of 3 units and a center of 2, negative 3, the circle can be drawn. Circle can be drawn. So we can now have the circle. We can have the circle. Let's see what we can do to get the circle. Okay, that's the Cartesian plane. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2. Remember, the units are supposed to be 3, so I must manage the graph book very well. Sorry, I should manage this grid very wisely so that I don't have a circle maybe going to beyond the grid. So I need to manage the grid very well. So allow me restructure it. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, the -1, -2, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -3, -4, -5, -6. Yeah, that way. So the center is 2, -3. So 2, -3 shall be here. That is the center. But now using 3 units, you discover that the y-axis is supposed to be moved to, the y-axis should be moved to the left, so that it accommodates all the units. Now we can have 0 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1, -2, -3, -4. This will be -1, -2, -3, -4, 1, 2, 3, -5. So 2, -3 shall be here. Then standing there, when we use 3 units, you discover that we'll be moving up to a point like this. Then on the upper side, we'll go to a point like this. On the left, to a point like this. Downwards, to a point like -6. So that is where we will pass with our circle now. Then we try it that way. We try it that way. So I expect you now to be having a perfect compass so that you draw it very keenly. Determine the amplitude, period, and phase angle of the curve. Y equals to A, the sine of K, X, or K beta. Yeah, let's say Kx plus or minus a certain angle at this point. We usually say that A is the amplitude, then the absolute value of theta is equal to the phase angle, then 360 out of K is equal to 360 over K will give us the period. Therefore, amplitude shall be 5/2, which is 2.5. Then phase angle shall be 60. Then what we are calling period now shall be 360/4, which is exactly 90. Yeah, exactly 90. Number 13, the basketball team scored the following points in 6 matches: 10, 12, 14, 16, 28, and 30. Using an assumed mean of 15, determine the standard deviation correct to 2 decimal places. On our way to standard deviation, we are supposed to calculate what we call variance. So let me have a table here of values, whereby I shall begin with the marks themselves, which I'll call X. The scores X, then deviations, each score from assumed mean. Yeah, each score from assumed mean. Then I will talk about deviation squared. Yeah, deviation squared up to that point to be enough. So I am talking about 10, 12, 14, 16, 28, and 30. Now, 10 minus 15, negative 5. 12 minus 15, negative 3, negative 1, 1. 28 minus 15 is 13. 30 minus 15 is 15. Then now we are supposed to square all the deviations. We're supposed to square all the deviations. So we get 25, we get 9, 1, 1, 169, 2, 2, 5. So I'll be talking about a summation of the deviations, which will give us 20, then summation of the deviations squared, which will give us 430. So variance, which is S squared, will be given by summation of D squared over N minus summation of D over N squared, that way. So we need 430 over N. These are 6 matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. 6, then minus 20 over 6. Then this part, we shall be squaring. Let me compute that. 430 divided by 6 minus 20 over 6 squared. So I'm getting 60.56 to 4 significant figures. So for me to get standard deviation, which is simply S, I need the square root of 60.56. So the square root of 60.56 shall be 7.78 to 2 decimal places. 7.78. Now there is a number 14. A committee of 3 people was chosen at random from a group of 5 men and 6 women. Find the probability that the committee consisted of 4 men, more men than women. More men than women. In this case, we're going to choose what we call a tree diagram. And for the tree diagram, you know, we are choosing 3 people. Then there are 5 men and 6 women. So we can start with men, then women. Choosing a woman in the first case, choosing a man is 5 over 11, then 6 over 11 for a woman. After choosing a man, in the second picking, choosing a man again, or a woman. Choosing a man for the second time will go down to 4 and now over 10. And choosing a woman, 6 over 10. Then when we had chosen a woman, we can pick a man or a woman again. Picking a woman again will be 5 over 10. So that for men, 5 over 10. Then if we had picked a woman here, we can still pick man or woman. Picking a man for the third time, this shall be 3 over 9. Then this will be 6 over 9. We can also talk about man, woman. If we had picked a woman, picking a woman again will go down to 5 out of 9. So that here we have 4 over 9. At this point, we can also talk about man, woman. So picking a man again will go down to 4 over 9. So this will be 5 over 9. So that's how we list the probabilities. And finally, if we had picked a woman, we can pick a man or a woman again. So picking a man or woman means picking a woman again will be 4 over 9 and woman 5 over 9. So we have the probabilities well listed at the end of the branches, but that we can outline them now. Man, 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 then man, man, woman, then man, woman, man, then there is man, woman, woman, then now woman, man, man, woman, man, woman, 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 man, and finally woman or through. So these are the probabilities. I've followed the branches up to this point. I'm following the branches up to those points. Yeah, branches up to those points. Now we are finding the probability that the committee is consisting of more men than women. So we need more men than women. More men than women. First, the committee must have men and women. Then now the number of men to exceed. So more men than women. That is one case. It's another case. More men than women. This is also another case. More men than women. So the first case is probability, man, man, woman. So man, man means 5 over 11. Man again, 4 over 10. Then 3, 6 over 9. Then the next one, it can be man, 5 over 11. Woman, 6 over 10. And man again, 4 over 9. So man, woman, man, that way. Or finally, woman, 6 over 11. Man, 5 over 10. And man again, 4 over 9. So those are the possibilities. And when we add, now we shall be getting 4 over 11. I hope that one is well computed. You can confirm, you people. Just confirm whether we have done it right. In number 15, the area of a triangle is 24 square units. The triangle is mapped onto image P by the matrix 6534. Find the area of the image P. Find the area of the image P. We know that area scale factor is usually given by area of image out of area of objects. And this one is the same as the absolute value of the determinant of the matrix, which is responsible for the transformation. Therefore, we have 64 minus 3 by 5. This will give us 9. This one is the determinant, 9. So if the determinant is 9, That's our area scale factor, which is given by area of image unknown out of area of object 24. So for us to get the value of x, we need 9 by 24, which is exactly 216 square centimeters. That way. And finally, we have a number 16 here, which talks of given the vector OA equals to 3i plus 4j plus 7k, and OB equals to 4i plus 3j minus 9k, or that is a plus. I don't know the scanning well there. This can even be a plus. So we will check. We'll check whether it is a plus. Let me just confirm. Could be a plus. Yeah, could be a plus. It's a positive. It's a positive. Yeah. And now we have I plus 6j plus 3k. Show that the points A, B, and C are collinear. So we are just concluding. This is our last question. Take it this way. For us to get vector AB, we need the position of B minus the position of A. So the position of B, I'll pick the coefficients of the unit vectors 4, 3, 9. Then I subtract for A, 3, 4, 7. This is going to give us 1, -1, then +2 that way. Then vector AC, because we just need two vectors. AC, we need the position of C minus the position of A. So for C, we have 1, 6, 3 minus for A, which is 3, 4, 7. Therefore, -2, -2, +2, then -4. Yeah, that way. So we're going to look at this thing and confirm whether vector A and B, vector AB and vector AC can be related in any way. And this is going to be, we can multiply this one by a certain constant there. So that we say vector AB, which is 1, -1, 2, equals to a constant, -2, -2, +2, and -4. Then from the X, -2k equals to 1. Therefore, k equals to -half. Again, from the Y, -1 equals to 2k. So the value of k is -half again, such that. So we can say the vector AB equals to -half vector AC. When this one has been obtained, then we can conclude that the vector AB is parallel to AC. Because you've confirmed that one vector can be a scalar multiple of the other, then they are parallel, and point A is common in both vectors. So it's a common vector, hence our points A, B, and C are collinear. So that is the only test for collinearity. You confirm that two vectors expressed from the given points are parallel to one another. Then you also confirm a common point from the vectors that you've chosen. Thank you so much for following. Remember to subscribe to this platform and also to invite your friends. Thank you.